Well, I'm joined tonight by Professor Ofer Levy. He is working on the development of a vaccine at the Harvard Medical School in the United States. Professor Levy, it's good to have you on the program. There is a race for a coronavirus vaccine at the moment. Talk to me a little bit about where you are in this race. In which phase of a vaccine development is your team at the moment?
Well, our team here at the Precision Vaccines Program at Harvard Medical School and Boston Children's Hospital is really taking a very different approach from the other groups. You know, normally vaccine development would start with developing an antigen, something that the body would respond to as a foreign agent and form antibodies against, and then test it in mice, for example, and then in larger animals and eventually in human trials. In our group, what we do is put the human element first. Because there are species-specific effects, and we test the effects of candidate vaccines outside the body, we say in vitro in culture, and we do so particularly using blood collections from elderly individuals who are most susceptible to severe coronavirus. So we want to develop a vaccine that would be effective in those who are at risk of most severe disease.
Well, what does that mean then for human trials in your development? Do they come later than, for example, than what we're seeing here in Germany with BioNTech and Pfizer?
They may well come later, but we believe that our vaccine might not be the first one there, but maybe one that is optimized to best protect the elderly. We've seen it before. If you look at influenza immunization, for example, a high proportion of elderly individuals do not mount a sufficiently strong response to the flu vaccine. Of course, they should be getting the flu vaccine. It's very important for them. It's life-saving, but we wish a higher proportion was giving a robust response. We're working with small molecules called adjuvants that boost an immune response, and it turns out that adjuvants work differently in different age groups. So we're making sure we build a vaccine that would work best in those who suffer the worst disease.
Professor, you talk about a vaccine that works best. Is it possible that in our haste to find a vaccine that we could possibly have something on the market, let's say next year, that is not optimal, that may not help as many people as we would like? Are we looking at a future maybe at first with second-rate vaccines being the first ones on the market?
Well, none of them are second rate. I don't want to disparage any of the efforts. There must be over 100 groups around the world and probably many more, and we wish each group the very best. You know, this is not a game. People are dying every day around the world, in our community here in Boston as well. So we wish all the groups the very best. And as you know, trials have already begun in the United States and around the world. And even if we hear in a few months that these trials are positive in the sense that the vaccine appears safe and induced an antibody response, there's still the matter of how do you scale this solution to make hundreds of millions or billions of doses. This is where we think an adjuvant can be helpful, because an adjuvant may allow you to create a vaccine with less of the expensive part, the antigen, the protein, for example, and more of the adjuvant that's typically a small molecule that's less costly to produce. So there are pharmacoeconomic reasons that an adjuvant might be a solution to scale a vaccine, and it also might induce a more durable response so that you don't need repeat dosing. So this is an approach we're taking. Of course, there are other groups looking at adjuvants as well, but we believe our group to be unique in first modeling the human immune response outside the body and focusing on the elderly.
Well, we will certainly be monitoring your progress, Professor, and we wish you all the best, as well as all the teams that are working now on a vaccine. Professor Ofer Levy. Professor, thank you.